Hello and welcome back to English Podcast Voice, the place where we break down English for you. I'm your host, Quinn.
And I'm Riley. Good to see you, everyone.
You know, I think every intermediate English learner has this moment of just total frustration. You feel like you know all the words, right? You can read an article, you can mostly understand a TV show.
For sure. The passive skills are strong.
Exactly. But then you try to do something simple like introduce yourself at a party or, ask a basic question, and the words just... they come out all wrong.
Yeah, in the wrong order.
In the wrong order. It's like your brain is translating literally from your first language. I still struggle with that sentence structure sometimes.
Totally. It's a super common hurdle.
So today we are diving deep, really deep, into the things that stop intermediate B1 level learners from sounding completely natural. We're going to break down the trickiest grammar hurdles, from misplaced prepositions to the right way to talk about your job and hobbies.
Absolutely. And that feeling of, not sounding natural, it almost always comes down to a handful of really small but persistent grammatical habits.
Right.
So we've gathered some fantastic resources that tackle, the 10 most common ones. And crucially, we're going to give you the actual phrases native speakers use every single day. We're going to dissect these common mistakes so thoroughly that you'll never make them again.
I'm ready. We have so much ground to cover. We're going to figure out why you can't just say, I like listening music, which is probably the #1 verb mistake I hear.
Oh, it's a classic.
And we're going to finally lock down the huge game-changing difference between saying you've lived somewhere since 6 years and for 6 years. That one is so important for talking about your life.
It's fundamental.
Yeah?
And stick around, because we'll even give you a little pop quiz later on to test you on the difference between a job and work.
Ooh, I'm intrigued. But before we unpack all these secrets, please just take 1 second, hit that like button right now, and subscribe to English Podcast Voice so you never, ever miss a deep dive.
Let's get into it.
All right, let's start with what feels like, the first big giveaway that you're struggling with English structure.
Yeah.
Asking questions.
Yes.
The sources all point to this idea that learners forget to rearrange the words. They forget to do this thing called inversion.
That's it. That's the core of it. In a normal statement, the order is simple. It's logical. It's subject, then verb. You are going.
Right.
But English demands that when you make that a question, something has to flip. It has to invert.
Wait, why do we even call it inversion? Is it just to confuse learners?
It sounds technical, but it really just means flipping the order. The general structure, especially with question words like what, where, why, how, is always question word, then the auxiliary verb, then the subject, then the main verb.
So the mistake is just keeping the statement order, like, you are going to the store, but just with your voice going up at the end.
Exactly. And people will probably understand you in a casual chat, but it's not grammatically correct. To form a proper question, you need that helper verb, the auxiliary verb, to jump to the front.
So are you going to the store? The R flips with the U.
Precisely. That little flip is the signal to the listener's brain. Attention, a question is coming.
Can we use an analogy for this? Because just saying flip the order can be a bit abstract when you're in the middle of a conversation.
Let's use the sandwich analogy. It worked perfectly for this.
Okay, a sandwich. I'm listening.
Okay, think of the subject of the sentence, like he, or the cat, or you, as the bottom slice of bread.
Got it. Bread.
And in a statement, the auxiliary verb, which is like the cheese, is tucked safely inside. So, he, bread, is cheese, happy.
He is happy. Makes sense.
But when you ask a question, the cheese has to do something special. The cheese has to leave out from inside the sandwich and land in front of the bread.
So the cheese jumps over the bread.
The cheese jumps over the bread. So he is happy becomes is he happy. The cheese is jumps over the bread. He. That's inversion.
I love that. So those cheese verbs are the important ones, the helper verbs, right? Like be, do, and have.
They're the ones that do all the work. They're the engine of the question. And for tenses where there isn't an obvious cheese verb, like the simple present.
Like, he eats pizza. There's no is or are.
Right. For those, we have to call in a special helper verb just to make the question work.
Yeah.
We call in do, does, or did.
So he eats pizza becomes does he eat pizza? The does is the cheese we bring in to do the jump.
Exactly. And notice what happens to the main verb, eats.
It loses its S. It goes back to just eat.
Because the cheese, does, is now carrying all the grammatical information that carries the tense. The main verb can just relax in its base form.
Okay, that clarifies so much. But now, here's where I get a bit lost. Sometimes we don't do the flip.
Yes. The exception to the rule.
Yeah. like when the question word itself is the subject.
This is a fantastic point, and it's what separates a B1 learner from a B2. It's the non-inversion rule. You
Okay.
skip the inversion, you skip the whole cheese jumping over bread thing. When your question word, usually who or what, is the person or thing doing the action.
So it's filling the subject slot in the sentence.
It is the subject. For instance, in the statement, the man called the police, the man is the subject. If we don't know who it was, we just replace the man with who.
So, who called the police?
And the rest of the sentence just stays the same. No did, no inversion, nothing. The word order is identical to a statement.
But if I was asking about, say, the time, I'd have to bring the cheese back in.
Exactly. How would you ask about the time?
When did he call the police?
The
Trumps before the he.
Perfect. Because when isn't the subject. He is still the subject. You only skip the flip when who or what is the star of the show.
Let's do that detective scenario from the outline. That could really make this clear.
Great idea. So imagine a detective arrives at a crime scene and starts questioning a witness. First, the detective needs to check if the witness is okay. So they ask a simple yes-no question using inversion. Something like, are you all right?
The cheese jumps before the bread. You got it.
Then, the detective wants to know about the suspect, the person who did the action. So they use the non-inversion rule.
So they'd ask, who broke the window? Not who did break the window.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Who is the subject? The word order is simple, but then the detective wants to know how the suspect did it.
Now how is not the subject, so we need inversion again.
Right. So the detective would ask, how did the suspect get inside?
Did jumps before the suspect.
You've got it. Understanding that one exception, and then the main rule of the jumping cheese, is honestly the first major step to forming perfect questions every time.
Okay, moving from sentence structure to individual words that cause chaos, let's talk about the countable versus uncountable noun minefield.
Yes, this is a big one because
Yeah.
it affects everything.
Yeah.
Your articles, your quantifiers like many or much, even your verbs.
And the problem is that what's uncountable in English might be countable in your language.
That's the main trap. A learner's brain logically thinks, I can have one idea, two ideas, three ideas. So why can't I have one advice, two advices?
Right. And the sources highlight two of the biggest culprits. Advice and furniture. People constantly want to say advices or furnitures.
They do. But in English, we treat these words as a single mass, a substance.
You use the analogy of sand or fog. I like that.
It's perfect, isn't it? You can't pick up one sand from the beach. You can pick up a grain of sand, but not one sand. You can't grab one fog.
You measure the whole mass.
You measure the mass.
Yes.
And because we see them as a single mass, they're always treated as grammatically singular.
Which means the verb has to be singular too. So my furniture is old, not my furniture are old.
Exactly. Even if you have 50 chairs and tables, all that stuff collectively is your furniture.
And if you desperately need to count it, you have to package it up first.
You have to put it in a container. So not an advice, but a piece of advice. Not a furniture, but an item of furniture. Not a bread, but a slice of bread.
Let's dive deep into advice since it's such a common one. What's the real difference then between advice and a suggestion? They feel very similar.
That's a great spotlight question. They overlap for sure. But advice generally feels more significant. It's guidance, often from someone with experience. A suggestion is lighter. It's just an idea, one of many possibilities.
So a doctor gives you medical advice, but a friend gives you a suggestion for a good restaurant.
That's a perfect way to think about it. But for our purposes today, the key difference is grammatical. Advice is uncountable. Suggestion is countable. You can have many suggestions.
But you can only have much advice.
You can. Let's run through our 5 examples to see how flexible it is. First, a formal one.
Okay.
The legal team offered invaluable professional advice regarding the merger.
Very formal. And it's singular advice. Now, casual.
Hey, I'm new here. Got any advice on where to get the best coffee?
Still singular. Okay, now a funny or weird one.
My cat's only advice for solving my problems is to take more naps, which is honestly not a bad idea.
Huh. Still singular. What about historical context?
The Queen valued her spymaster's advice above all others during the war.
And a philosophical one?
The ancient philosopher's central piece of advice was simply, know thyself?
Okay, I see it. The word itself never changes. It's always advice. Let's do the role play. Okay. I'm thinking about quitting my job. I need some help.
Wow, okay. That's a big decision. My first piece of advice is to not make any sudden moves.
That's good advice. My friend gave me some terrible advice yesterday. He said I should just walk out today.
That doesn't sound like very sound advice. Have you tried to seek advice from a career counselor?
Not yet. I tend to just ignore advice from experts because I'm stubborn.
Well, this might be a good time to take some advice. At least think about making a financial plan first.
Okay. I'll take your advice. You're right. I need a plan.
See how it works. We talked about multiple tips, good ones, bad ones, but the word itself never became advices.
It's sinking in. So what are the key collocations?
The 5 most useful are 1, a piece of advice; 2, sound advice, meaning good advice; 3, to seek advice; 4, to take advice; and 5, to ignore advice.
And the main nuance is just never, ever, ever say advices.
That's the golden rule. You'll instantly sound more natural if you get that right.
All right, let's navigate the prepositional maze. Those tiny little words like in, on, and at that cause so much pain.
The bane of every learner's existence, because they're all about logic, not direct translation.
Let's use that target analogy. I think that helps.
Okay, think of prepositions of place and time like a dartboard. In is the biggest area. It's for enclosed spaces in general time periods.
So in the box, in a city, in June, in the 21st century. Big containers.
Exactly. Then you have on. On is more specific. It's for surfaces and specific days. It's like hitting the surface of the dartboard.
So on the table, on the wall, and on Monday, on my birthday.
Perfect. And finally, you have at. At is the most specific. It's the bullseye. It's for a precise point in time or a specific location.
At 3 o'clock, at the bus stop, at the corner of the street.
You've got it. That's the core logic.
But here's my question, the one that always gets me. Why is it in the morning, but on Monday morning?
Ah, the classic. It's because the specific day, Monday, is more powerful. It's more specific.
So the day overrides the part of the day.
Yes. Think of the morning as a big general container in. But once you stick a specific day on the front of it, Monday morning, Tuesday morning, it's no longer a general container. It becomes a specific point on the calendar, a surface on.
That helps. Okay, another confusing pair. In the car versus on the bus. Why the different preposition? They're both vehicles.
This one is about your ability to move. You use in for small private vehicles where you can basically only sit. You are in a car, in a taxi.
Right.
You use on for larger public forms of transport where you can stand up and walk around. You're standing on a surface, on a bus, on a train, on a plane, on a ship.
So it's about being inside a small box versus standing on a big platform.
That's the logic. It's not a random rule.
Okay, let's deep dive on the bullseye preposition, at. When do I use at for location versus in? For example, I'm at the office versus I'm in the office. Is there a difference?
There is a very subtle but important difference. And it's all about function versus physical space.
Function versus space.
When you say you are at the office, you're usually talking about your location in terms of its purpose. You are there to work, at school, at the airport, at the doctor's. It refers to the general location and the activity associated with it.
So it's not literally about being inside the 4 walls.
Not necessarily. You could be at the airport but standing outside waiting for a taxi.
Yeah.
But if you say you are in the office, you are specifically emphasizing that you are physically inside the building.
I'm inside the container. That makes sense.
Let's do our 5 examples for at formal.
Let's hear it.
All attendees are requested to be present at the conference hall by 9 a.m. sharp.
Okay. Casual.
I'll meet you at the coffee shop in about 10 minutes.
Funny weird.
My dog spends hours staring at his reflection in the mirror.
Historical.
The treaty was signed at Versailles, marking the end of the conflict.
And philosophical.
He felt he was at a crossroads in his life, unsure which path to take.
It's always a specific point, a location, or a moment. Let's try the role play. We're planning to meet up for dinner.
Sounds good.
Okay, so are we still on for tonight? I was thinking we could meet at that new Italian place.
I'd love that. What time works for you? I finish work at 5:30.
Me too. Let's say we meet at the restaurant at 7 o'clock. That gives us time to get there.
Perfect. I'll meet you right at the entrance. Don't be late. I'll be looking at my watch.
I won't. I'll be there at 7 on the dot.
See? Perfect natural usage. The 5 key collocations to remember are 1, at the moment; 2, at risk; 3, at home; 4, at least; and 5, at first.
And the big nuance is at the office for the function of working versus in the office for being physically inside.
You've nailed it.
Let's talk about the verbs that refuse to follow the rules. The irregular verbs.
Ah, yes, the VIPs of English grammar.
VIPs. Why VIPs?
Because they're old, they're important, and they don't follow the same rules as everyone else.
I like that.
They're remnants of an older form of English, and they're usually the most common verbs: go see, eat, take, write. They just refuse to add a simple ed at the end.
And this is where we get errors like, he righted a book, or she has drived a car.
Exactly. It's a memorization game, pure and simple. But the key is understanding why there are two different past forms.
Right. Why do we need wrote and d written, or saw and d seen? What's the job of each one?
It's a brilliant question. They do two totally different jobs. The second form, the past simple form like wrote or saw, is for finished actions in the past. Done. Over.
I wrote a letter yesterday. The action is finished and in the past.
Exactly. It has a timestamp on it, like yesterday or last week.
Yeah.
But the third form, the past participle, like written or seen, has a different job. It's used with a helper verb, have or has, to connect the past to the present.
So this is for the perfect tenses.
Yes. I have written a novel. This doesn't mean you wrote it yesterday. It means the action of writing happened in the past. But the result, the novel, exists now. It's part of your life experience up to this moment.
Ah, the life experience tense. Like
Yeah,
that. So I saw that movie last year. Is a finished past action.
Right.
But I have seen that movie before. Means it's in my bank of life experiences.
You've got it. Let's cement this with a story about a messy weekend.
Okay.
So last Saturday, I ran a 10K race. Past simple, it's done. After that, I ate a huge pizza. Past simple. Then I slept for 10 hours. Past simple.
All finished actions from your Saturday.
But now it's Monday, and I'm reflecting on my weekend. I can use the third form to talk about my current state. I feel so accomplished because I have run a marathon this year.
Cumulative experience.
I'm not hungry because I have already eaten so much this weekend.
A past action with a present result.
And I feel amazing because I have slept so well. Knowing which form to use, the simple past for finished stories or the past participle with have for life experience, is absolutely crucial.
Okay, another classic mix-up. Adverbs and adjectives. We know adjectives describe nouns and adverbs describe verbs, but it still gets confusing.
It does. The most common mistake is using the adjective when you should be using the adverb. For example, he speaks very quiet.
Instead of he speaks very quietly.
Right. The rule of thumb is, if you're describing a thing, use an adjective, a quiet room. If you're describing an action, use an adverb, to speak quietly.
But what about those tricky feeling verbs? This one gets everyone. Should I say I feel bad or I feel badly? Which one is right?
I feel bad is almost always the one you want.
Why? Feel is a verb. Shouldn't I use an adverb?
Because in this case, feel is a special kind of verb called a linking verb. It's not describing an action, it's linking the subject I to a description of your state.
So bad isn't describing the action of feeling. It's describing me. I am bad.
Exactly. You are describing your state of being. If you say, I feel badly, you're technically saying that your ability to touch things is poor.
Oh, I see. So the adjective is like a filter on an image describing the subject. The adverb is like the settings on a machine describing how the action works.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And remember, some words are tricky because they're both. Like hard, it was a hard day, adjective.
Yeah.
She works very hard, adverb.
And if you add Sully, it changes the meaning completely. She hardly works means she almost never works.
English is fun, isn't it?
So much fun. Okay, let's switch gears to something that seems really academic but is actually super important for sounding smart. That versus which.
Yes, the dreaded relative clauses. But we can make this really, really simple.
Please do. Forget restrictive and non-restrictive. It's too confusing.
Forget it. Just remember one thing. The comma.
The comma is the key.
The comma is your lighthouse in the storm. Here's the rule.
Oh.
A comma signals that the information you're adding is extra. It's bonus detail. It's not essential.
Okay, extra information gets a comma.
And if you have a comma, you use which.
So my car, which is blue, is very fast. The fact that it's blue is just extra info. You already know I'm talking about my car.
Exactly. You can remove which is blue, and the sentence still makes perfect sense. My car is very fast. The core meaning is unchanged.
So what about that?
You use that when the information is absolutely essential. You cannot remove it. If you remove it, the meaning becomes unclear. And with that, there is no comma.
Give me an example.
The car that I bought yesterday is broken.
If I just say the car is broken, you'd ask, which car?
Exactly. The information that I bought yesterday is essential to identify which car we're talking about. You can't remove it.
So, simple rule. If I see a comma, I should automatically think which. And if I don't see one and the info is crucial, I should think that.
For B1 level, that is a golden rule that will get you the right answer 99% of the time. Comma equals which. Essential info equals that.
That is so much easier. Okay, let's move on to talking about time and duration. This is where so many common mistakes happen.
For sure. especially with the present perfect continuous tense, the PPC.
That's the one that looks like I've been verbing. I have been working.
Right. And its main job is to show that an action started in the past and is still continuing right now. It shows duration.
And the confusion often comes from that little word been.
It does. Because been is the past participle, the third form of the verb to be. So you're combining the perfect tense structure with the continuous structure.
This brings us to a huge classic learner mistake. Someone who moved to a new country might say, I am in Canada since 2018.
I hear that one all the time.
What's wrong with it? And why is I have been in Canada since 2018 the only correct way to say it?
The problem is the word since. Since is a time word that demands a connection from the past to the present. It points to a starting time.
Okay.
The simple present tense I am only talks about right now. It has no connection to the past. It's a snapshot of the present moment. It can't work with since.
So you need a tense that can build a bridge from that starting point in the past to right now.
That is the perfect analogy. The present perfect, I have been, is that bridge. It starts on the past side of the river in 2018, and it stretches all the way across to the present side, showing the state is ongoing.
I love the bridge analogy. So the PPC is for action still crossing the river.
Okay.
What's the subtle difference then between the PPC, like I have been working, and the present perfect simple, I have worked?
It's a great question. It's about emphasis.
Okay.
The PPC, I have been working, emphasizes the duration and the continuous effort. It often implies the task is unfinished. I've been cleaning the house all day. Suggests you're tired and the house is still probably a mess.
I know that feeling.
Whereas the present perfect simple, I have worked, emphasizes the result or the completion. I have cleaned the house means the job is done. You can relax.
So PPC for the process, simple for the result. That's a really useful distinction.
It really is.
Now let's nail down those three little time prepositions that cause so much trouble. For, since, and during.
Yes. This is non-negotiable for fluency. If you mix these up, it's a major giveaway that you're still translating in your head.
So let's make it simple. Since.
Since is for a starting point.
Yeah.
A specific point in time. Since Monday. Since 2010. Since I was a child.
And for.
For is for a duration, a length of time. For 3 days. For 10 years. For a long time.
So the rule is, if you are counting the time period, 3 weeks, 6 years, a decade, you must use for.
You must. The classic error is, I have lived here since 6 years.
Incorrect.
Because 6 years is a duration, a length of time. You have to say, I've lived here for 6 years.
We use the analogy of a GPS coordinate versus a car's distance counter.
Yes. Since is like a GPS coordinate. It's a fixed point on the map.
Yeah.
2010. Last Tuesday.
Yeah.
My birthday.
It doesn't move.
Doesn't move. 4 is like the odometer or the distance counter in your car. It measures the total journey, the total time that has passed.
That's so clear. Let's try it in a quick scenario about a business.
Okay.
I could say, we started this company. We have had this company since 2015.
Perfect. 2015 is the starting point. The GPS coordinate.
Which means we have been in business for almost a decade.
Exactly. A decade is the duration. The distance traveled. You use both perfectly.
Now let's bring in the third player. During. This one gets confused with for a lot.
It does. The difference is that for tipias, measures the entire length of an activity. During tells you that something happened inside a larger period of time.
So it's about something happening within a time frame.
Yes. And during is always followed by a noun. For example, I fell asleep during the movie.
You didn't sleep for the entire movie, hopefully. You just fell asleep at some point within the time of the movie.
That is the core difference. I worked for 8 hours. Measures the duration of your work. I received a phone call during my workday. Means the call happened at one point inside that 8-hour period.
And we use it for longer periods too, right? Like, I learned to ski during my time in Canada.
Exactly. It places a smaller event inside a bigger life chapter. Master those 3 since for the start, for the length, and during for inside, and your conversations about time will be perfect.
Okay, let's switch from grammar rules to actual conversational phrases, the stuff that makes you sound polite and helps you navigate real chats.
The practical tools. I love this part.
When you're learning, you're always going to hear words you don't know. So we need to ask for clarification. The common mistake is saying something like, what means ambiguous?
Yes, that's a direct translation error. We need that helper verb, the cheese, to make the question work.
So the correct natural structure is always...
What's the word mean? You need the does to carry the tense.
Let's do a deep dive on that phrase. Let's say I heard a word in a meeting. Jurisprudence.
A very formal word. So you would ask, excuse me, what does jurisprudence mean?
And the definition.
In plain English, it means the theory or philosophy of law.
Okay, let's run through the 5 examples to see how the question works everywhere. A formal question.
In this legal context, what does this specific clause mean for our client?
Casual.
My boss said I need to be more proactive. What does proactive mean?
A funny or weird one.
The recipe says to coddle the egg. What on earth does coddle mean?
Historical.
The archaeologist found a strange tablet. Her first question was, what does this ancient symbol mean?
And a philosophical one.
Before we can find the answer, we must first ask, what does it truly mean to be happy?
The structure is always the same. Let's role play it. I'm reading a really confusing email from our boss.
Okay, I'm here to help.
It says, we need to leverage our core competencies. What does leverage mean in this context?
It means to use something to its maximum advantage. So use our main skills effectively.
Got it. Okay, next sentence. This will create more synergy. What does synergy mean? I hear that word all the time.
Synergy is when different parts work together to create a result that's better than what they could do alone. Like 1 + 1 = 3.
Right. Corporate buzzwords. Okay, last one. We must avoid any potential blowback. What does blowback mean?
It means negative consequences or a bad reaction from the public or clients.
Okay, so use our skills to work together better and avoid a bad reaction. Now I get it.
Exactly. You use the phrase perfectly. So the key collocations are, 1, what do you mean? Which is slightly more personal. 2, I didn't mean to. 3, meaningless. 4, to mean well. And 5, to mean business, which means to be very serious.
And the big nuance is that what does that mean is a neutral question about information. But what do you mean? Can sometimes sound like you're challenging the person.
Tone of voice is everything with that one.
Now for the ultimate polite phrase. This one is pure gold for sounding fluent. I was wondering if...
Oh, this is my favorite. It's like a secret weapon of politeness.
But it's so weird. The rule is that you have to use a past tense verb after it, even if you're talking about right now. I was wondering if you wanted to get coffee. Why the past tense?
It's all about creating distance. It's a bit of grammatical magic.
Ooh.
Yes. By using the past continuous, I was wondering, you're making it sound like this was just a thought you were having to yourself a moment ago. Not a direct demand on the person right now.
So it's less aggressive.
Much less.
Yeah.
And adding the second past tense verb, like wanted or could, makes it even softer and more hypothetical. It gives the other person an easy way to say no without feeling rude.
So the definition is basically a super polite and indirect way to make a request.
That's it. Let's try the examples. Formal.
Okay.
Hello, I was wondering if it might be possible to change my appointment.
Very soft. Casual.
Hey, I was wondering if you had any plans for the weekend.
Funny or weird?
I was just sitting here, and I was wondering if penguins have knees.
Historical.
The letter read, My dearest, I was wondering if you ever received my last message.
And philosophical.
Lately, I was wondering if true freedom is the absence of choice.
Wow, it works everywhere. Okay, I need to ask you for a bunch of favors, and I want to be as polite as possible.
I'm ready.
Hi, sorry to bother you. I was wondering if you had a spare minute.
Of course. What can I help you with?
Well, I was wondering if you could take a quick look at this report for me. I'm not sure if my grammar is right.
No problem at all. I can do that.
Oh, thank you. And also, I was wondering if you wanted to grab lunch after this. My treat.
I'd love to. You see how that structure makes it so easy and pressure-free to say yes?
It really does. It's like you're giving the other person all the power. I was wondering if that was the right way to use it.
That was a perfect use of it. The 5 key collocations are, 1, I was wondering if you had time. 2, I was wondering if I might. 3, I was wondering if you could. 4, I was wondering if you knew. And 5, I was wondering if you wanted. The nuance is always that past tense equals politeness.
Amazing. Okay, one more polite phrase. Asking for physical help. Could you give me a hand?
An essential idiom. It means help me, usually with carrying or moving something.
And I can't say, like, can you give me a finger or an arm?
Nope. It's a fixed idiom. It has to be a hand. And for maximum politeness, you should always use could instead of can.
Could is more polite than can. Got it. Let's do the examples. Formal.
Excuse me, sir. Could you give me a hand with these boxes? They're for the presentation.
Casual.
This jar is stuck. Can you give me a hand?
Honey.
I'm trying to build this IKEA furniture and I'm losing my mind. Could someone please give me a hand?
Historical.
The farmer called to his neighbor. Friend, could you give me a hand getting this wagon out of the mud?
And philosophical.
In life, we must learn to ask for help. to say to others, could you give me a hand?
Okay, let's do the role play. We're moving into a new apartment.
Oh boy.
This sofa is so heavy, I don't think I can lift it myself. Could you give me a hand?
Absolutely, so I'll take the front. Whoa, watch out for that wall. It looks like the door is too narrow.
You're right. Uh-oh. Let me see. Maybe if we tilt it. Can I give you a hand with that side?
Yeah, good idea. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Phew. Okay, it's
Well,
through.
Thank goodness. Thanks for giving me a hand. I really appreciate it. Now for the fridge.
The key here is also offering help. Can I give you a hand? Or, let me give you a hand. It's a two-way street. The main collocations are give a hand with something, give a hand moving something, lend a hand, and offer a hand. It's a really friendly, common phrase.
This is all so practical. Okay, let's talk about how to introduce ourselves, specifically our job and our work status. What's the best way to answer what do you do?
The most important thing is to use the article, a or an. I'm a teacher. I'm an engineer. Forgetting the article is a very common mistake.
And what if you don't have a job right now? I'm unemployed sounds so harsh.
It does. It sounds quite negative. The much softer, more optimistic phrase that native speakers use is, I'm in between jobs.
Why is that so much better?
Because it frames your situation as temporary and active. Unemployed sounds like a final state. In between jobs suggests you're on a journey. You've left one job and you're on your way to the next one. It's like waiting at a bus stop, not being stranded.
That's a great way to put it. It's all about positive framing. Let's deep dive on a phrasal verb that's everywhere in the working world. Catch up.
Yes, a very high-value one.
My question is, does it mean meeting a friend? Or does it mean doing work you missed? I get them confused.
It means both. That's what makes it so useful and a little tricky.
So what's the definition?
It has two main definitions. One, to reach the same level or point as someone else. And two, to do things you should have done earlier.
Okay, so you can catch up with a person or catch up on work.
That's the key distinction. The preposition changes the meaning. Let's do the examples. Formal.
Right.
After my vacation, I'll need the first 2 days to catch up on important emails.
Casual with a person.
We haven't talked in ages. We should catch up for coffee sometime.
Funny.
I'm so behind on that TV show, I need to spend the whole weekend trying to catch up.
Historical.
The Second Army marched quickly to catch up with the first before the battle.
And philosophical.
He felt that life was moving too fast and he could never quite catch up.
Okay, let's do the role play. I'm just coming back to the office after a long holiday.
Welcome back. Did you have a good time?
It was amazing, but I feel so behind. I have like 500 emails. I need to catch up on everything.
Take your time. First, just try to catch up on the most urgent messages. I can help you.
Thanks. I also missed the big project meeting. Is there a summary I can read to catch up?
Yep, the minutes are on the server. And hey, once you're settled, let's catch up with Sarah and Mark over lunch so they can tell you what you missed.
That sounds perfect. But first, I think I need to catch up on about 20 hours of sleep.
Huh. A wise plan. The 5 best collocations are catch up on sleep, catch up on emails, catch up with a friend, catch up on the news, and to play catch up, which means you're trying to reach a competitor's level.
Moving on to work idioms. Let's break down think outside the box. I hear this in every business meeting. What is the box?
The box is the normal way of doing things. It's conventional thinking, the standard, boring solution.
So to think outside of it means?
It means to think creatively, to come up with a new, unusual, or clever solution that nobody has thought of before.
Got it. Let's do the examples. Formal.
To solve this budget crisis, the board must encourage everyone to think outside the box.
Casual.
This traffic is awful. We need to think outside the box and find a back road.
Funny.
My cat wanted the food on the high shelf. He had to think outside the box and knocked over a lamp to climb up.
Historical.
Early astronomers like Galileo had to think outside the box to challenge the idea that the Earth was the center of the universe.
Philosophical.
To achieve a breakthrough in consciousness, one must think outside the box of everyday reality.
Okay, role play time. We're a team, and our project is failing. We've missed a deadline.
The pressure is on.
This isn't working. Everything we've tried has failed. We really need to think outside the box.
I agree. The standard approach is a dead end. What if, and this is just an idea, what if we do the opposite of what we've been trying?
Whoa! That's a real think outside the box solution. Tell me more.
What if instead of adding more features, we remove some, make it simpler?
That's brilliant. We need more people who can think creatively outside the box like that. Let's try it.
The key collocations are a think outside the box solution, to creatively think outside the box, and to encourage thinking outside the box. It's always positive and associated with innovation.
Now, for an adjective to describe work, demanding, how is that different from just saying a job is hard?
Hard means difficult to do. Demanding is more specific. It means a job requires a lot of your time, your energy, or your attention. It places heavy expectations on you.
So a job could be easy to do, but still demanding because of the long hours.
Exactly. Or you could have a very demanding client who is never satisfied. Even if the work itself isn't hard, it's about the pressure it puts on you.
Let's do the examples. Formal,
The role of a surgeon is incredibly demanding, both physically and mentally.
casual,
I can't go out tonight. My new puppy is very demanding and needs constant attention.
funny,
My sourdough starter is surprisingly demanding. I have to feed it twice a day.
historical,
Being a medieval king was a demanding job, with constant threats of war and betrayal.
and philosophical.
The search for truth is a demanding journey that requires lifelong commitment.
Let's do the role play. I'm telling you about my old job that I just quit.
Why did you leave? I thought you liked it there.
I did, but the schedule was just too demanding. I was working 70 hours a week.
Wow, that's a highly demanding schedule. Was your boss also very demanding?
The most demanding person I've ever met. He expected instant replies to emails at 3 a.m. It was so mentally demanding.
It sounds like you made the right choice to leave. That's not sustainable.
For sure. I need a job that's less physically demanding and respects my time.
Absolutely. The main qualifications are physically demanding, mentally demanding, a demanding client, and a demanding schedule. It usually has a slightly negative feel of being under pressure.
Finally, let's talk about hobbies. The basic structure is a verb of preference plus a gerund, the ing form. I like reading. I enjoy skiing.
Right. And a great phrase for how you started a hobby is, I got into it, which means you became interested or passionate about it.
Let's do a deep dive on a great verb for hobbies, explore. What's the real difference between explore and travel?
Travel is just about movement, going from point A to point B. Explore has a purpose. It implies you are searching for something, trying to learn or discover new things.
So a tourist travels, but an adventurer explores.
That's a fantastic way to put it. Exploration has a goal of discovery.
Okay, let's do the 5 examples. Formal,
The mission of the space probe is to explore the outer planets of our solar system.
casual,
I have the day off tomorrow. I think I'll just go and explore that little town I drove through last week.
funny,
My baby has started to crawl, and now her main hobby is to explore the fascinating world under the dining table.
historical,
Early cartographers had to explore dangerous and unknown territories to create their maps.
philosophical.
In meditation, the goal is not to find answers, but to simply explore the nature of your own mind.
Let's plan a weekend trip using the word.
Let's do it.
I am so bored of this city. This weekend, I really want to get out and just explore nature.
Me too. There's a national park about 2 hours away. We could explore some of the hiking trails there.
Great idea. We should also explore the possibility of renting a canoe. I'd love to explore the lake.
And after all that exploring, we can explore the local dining scene. I hear there's a great pub in the nearby village.
This is a perfect plan. A weekend of pure exploration.
The key collocations are explore nature, explore possibilities, explore new territory, and explore concepts. It always implies curiosity and discovery.
All right, it's time for our quickfire round, the common mistake segment. I'll say the common error, and you correct me.
I'm ready. Hit me.
Okay, mistake number 1. I want to say I have the same opinion as you. Can I say I am agree with you?
Nope. That's a direct translation error. Agree is a verb, an action, doesn't need to be. Native speakers would actually say, I agree with you. Or in the negative, I don't agree.
Simple, no am. Got it. Mistake number 2, talking about hobbies. I love listening music.
Another classic. The verb listen is an active verb that needs to be directed at something. It needs a preposition. Native speakers would actually say, I love listening to music. You always listen to something.
Always. Okay. Mistake number 3. I'm describing my family. I am having 2 brothers.
Ah, the state verb trap. Have for possession is a state, not an action. You can't be in the middle of doing it. Native speakers would actually say, I have 2 brothers. Use the simple present for possession. You only use having for experiences like I'm having a good time or I'm having lunch.
That clears up so much.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we have the grammar, we have the phrases, now we need the music, intonation, and stress. Why is this so important?
Because English is a stress-timed language. Not all syllables get the same amount of time or emphasis. If you speak with a flat rhythm, like every syllable is the same, it's very difficult for a native speaker to understand you, even if your pronunciation of the words is perfect.
It's like the rhythm is wrong.
The rhythm is wrong. We stress the important words, the nouns, the main verbs, the adjectives, and we rush through the small, unimportant grammar words.
So to stress a word, is it just about being louder?
That's part of it, but there are three things. You need to be a little bit louder, your pitch needs to go a little bit higher, and you need to make the vowel sound a little bit longer. Louder, higher, longer.
Louder, higher, longer. I like that.
And in every phrase, there's one word that gets the biggest stress of all. We call it the tonic syllable. It's usually the last important word. I went to the shop, yes.
And the hardest part is the beginning of the sentence, those little function words.
The prehead, yes. We swallow them, we say them so fast, like to the becomes the becomes for.
So how can we practice that?
The rap technique.
Mhm.
You just practice saying them quickly in a rhythm, like a drum beat. 1 to 2 to 2 to 3 to shops. You force yourself to crush those little words.
I like that. 1 to 2, 3 to shops. It feels weird, but I can hear the rhythm.
That rhythm is the key to sounding natural. It's the music of English.
All right, listener, it is time for our pop quiz. Try to answer before I do.
Let's see how you do. Question number 1. On that versus which word is correct here? The laptop, that which I bought yesterday, has already broken.
Okay, I see commas around the phrase I bought yesterday. The commas are the lighthouse. They signal extra information, so the answer is which.
Correct. The commas mean the information is not essential, so we use which. Well done.
Phew.
Okay, question 2. Countable versus uncountable? Should I say much or many? I don't have very much furniture in my new house.
Furniture, that was one of our big ones. It's like sand or fog, a single mass, uncountable. So we have to use much. Much furniture.
Excellent. You've got it. Last question. For versus since. Which preposition is correct? I've been practicing painting for since 3 weeks.
3 weeks is a duration. It's a length of time. It's the car's odometer, not the GPS coordinates, so the answer must be for 3 weeks.
A perfect score. You passed the fluency test?
That was intense. Okay, my top 3 takeaways from this whole deep dive are: 1, the cheese analogy. The auxiliary verb is the cheese that has to jump over the bread to ask a question. I will never forget that.
It's a good one.
2, the difference between for and since is about duration versus a starting point. That is a massive key to sounding natural. And 3, politeness is literally built into English grammar. Using the past tense in a phrase like, I was wondering if, makes you sound softer.
That's a great summary. And my top 5 words and phrases we dissected today are: 1, advice. It's always singular. 2, the idiom, think outside the box for creativity at work. 3, the adjective demanding for talking about a high-pressure job. 4, the polite question starter, I was wondering if. And 5, the verb explore for talking about your hobbies with a sense of adventure.
Your micro-challenge for this week, listener, is to go out and use one of these new phrases. Specifically, try to use I was wondering if to ask for a small favor in a real English conversation. Let us know how it goes in the comments below.
And as a final thought to leave you with, we talked about how the difference between that and which depends on whether information is essential or extra. But think about this. How do we ever truly know what information is essential for our listener? Fluency isn't just about knowing the rules. It's about correctly guessing the context in your listener's mind. Something to ponder.
Wow, that's deep. If this deep dive helped you untangle English grammar and gave you some confidence for your next conversation, please don't forget to like and subscribe to English Podcast Voice. I'm Quinn. See you next time.
And I'm Riley. Bye.